Hi and welcome to our second episode of the Meridian series, and today we are focusing on the heart. We're going to be embracing emotions of compassion and tenderness and directing those towards our body and our practice. We're going to start off with a bolster or a pillow if we don't have a bolster, just behind our lower backs. We draw the soles of the feet together, and when you're feeling ready, we elongate the spine all the way back over the bolster. We like this to be nice and central along the length of the spine. From here you could drop your arms wide, or you might feel comfortable to take hold of the opposing elbow and drop your arms back and your hips wide. As this is a yin practice, we now encourage a softening of the body, a relaxation of the muscles, the slowing of the breath. As we begin to soften physically, you might find initially the mind begins to speed up. Often if our energy is a little bit more yang, yet we place the body in this lovely still yin pose, we can begin to feel restless. The stillness and silence can feel out of alignment. But leaning into that stillness is one of the best things that we can do for ourselves. It returns us to our natural state. It returns us to a place of alignment. It naturally leads us to a more meditative or Zen state, all from a place of stepping back and surrendering, returning, rather than forcing. We're not making ourselves be quiet. We're allowing the mind to rest. When you're feeling ready, we gently drop the arms down by our side. We make our way up into a comfortable seated position and then use your arms to scoop the legs round to your side. Now from here, you can use a bolster for this next pose, or you can go straight down onto the ground. Do what feels right for you. If we use a bolster, this will be placing the bolster underneath the heart space and then drawing the arms out in front like so. You could drop your head. You could allow the head to be long. If you prefer, then we can roll that away and just plant the forearms straight down on the floor. Whether we are in our Sphinx or propped up on the bolster, or maybe even pushed up into our seal position, no matter where we are, we'd like to ensure that we're not compressing the lower back more than we feel comfortable with. We'd like this pose to feel intense, but not so intense that all we can focus on is when the pose will be over. We'd like the pose to feel also like a lovely deep stretch of the front body, As we breathe, the body naturally moves up and down. It's easy for the mind to wander, especially when we are facing down. It's thought that the mind can naturally wander a little bit more inwards towards a place of reflection or introspection. It doesn't matter where the mind wanders in Yin. I'd like to always take that step back and begin to observe the mind rather than engaging with it. In Yin, we are the one who watches the thoughts. We're not the one who creates them. The thoughts don't reflect anything on who we are. Therefore, we don't need to judge them. We don't need to feel pride or shame for feeling or observing certain thoughts, because they do not belong to you. You are the one experiencing the thought. If you feel happiness, anger, sadness at a specific thought, pay attention to your emotions as if they're simply translating the thought to you. Translating the energy, the vibration, the alignment, rather than allowing these emotions to engulf you or draw you in deeper. We notice them as if they're just giving us some information. When you're ready, we release all the way down, like so. We draw our right leg out towards the right side of the room and our right arm out to the right side of the room. Rest your forehead down on your left forearm, releasing through the lower back, opening through the inner hips. This should feel really lovely. Counter poses not only allow the body to reset, but also the energy to flow through the areas that we've targeted in the pose prior. When you're feeling ready, take that left hand and guide it out down by your left hand side. Draw your arm, your right arm, down by your right hand side, and we push up and over. So that left arm is straight, in a straight line behind you, and it's just opening out through the chest here. This might not be comfortable for everyone, and if it is not comfortable for you, please do not feel like you need to take this twist. Just opening through the chest, targeting through the shoulders, through the armpits, through the heart center. We're only here for 30 seconds. As with all twists, we'd like to ensure we're still breathing deeply, taking nourishing, nurturing breaths, avoiding that temptation to hold your breath. Well done. When you're feeling ready, we come back through center. We take our gentle hip opening pose on the other side. So we rest our head down. We draw the right arm underneath the forehead. And then the left arm and left leg out to the left hand side in a right angle. Allow yourself to be still within the body and within the mind. When you're ready, we slide that right arm down by our right hand side. It could be directly out, but most people will find it comfortable down at a bit of an angle. We draw that left hand just by our left shoulder and we open, planting that left foot on the floor. Breathe deeply here. There's elements of compression, elements of deep stretch. In Yin, we use all sorts of stress on the body in a controlled, compassionate way to release physical tension, to stimulate the meridians, to encourage movement of energy through the body, releasing away anything we hold that no longer serves us, creating room for the new. When we're ready, we come back through center and we gently come into our melting heart pose. So if you were in a perfect tabletop, you'd place your elbows around where your palms were. We sink our hips up and back and we melt the heart space to the floor. Now, if you feel super comfortable here, you might look forwards. If we feel a little bit tense here, which is perfectly understandable, we plant the forehead down instead. The more we surrender with gravity, the more intense the poses begin to feel. But we should find that there's an ebbing and flowing of intensity. When you meet your edge, the point in which your body naturally falls to, you might find that it is initially accompanied by quite intense sensations that grab your awareness, that grab your attention. And as we soften and melt physically, those sensations become more and more gentle. It's the resistance to the poses that can feel uncomfortable. The same within the emotional body, the same within the mind, and the same within our energy. The more we melt into that yin-like state, the more comfortable the silence of yin is, the stillness of yin is, the poses of yin are. The uncomfortable emotions that arise no longer feel so uncomfortable to face. We feel more comfortable to sit with things that prior to class might have been a little bit much, a little bit intense. When you're ready, slowly crawl with the legs up towards the body. We're going to come into our child's pose. So we draw the knees together and we forward fold over the body. Allow that expansion through the lower back. As we breathe, we should find that the rounding of the back body only intensifies that stretch and makes the counter pose feel all the more lovely. If it feels too intense, you can draw your knees a little bit wider, making more room to breathe, making more room to relax.
when you're feeling ready,
we slowly peel up into a nice tall position. We tuck the toes underneath the body. We draw the knees wide. We take the hands in a clockwise rotation on the right and an anti-clockwise rotation on the left. We plant those hands down in front of us and we release all the way down. Now, if you feel super comfortable in this pose, with the toes tucked under and the wrists shining forwards, then you might feel more comfortable to come into more of a tabletop, which can feel even more intense. However, for most of us today, we'll probably feel quite intense already, even in this kneeling position. Opening up through the wrists, allowing that yin heavy energy completely sinking into the mat. There is no resistance towards the pose. We allow ourselves to be heavy, to be switched off. It's normal for the mind to wander. When the mind does wander, rather than becoming frustrated, we see this as an opportunity to not only shine a spotlight on the mind and understand our habitual thoughts a little bit better, or just where we're at today, but also seeing it as an opportunity to strengthen our new habit, our habit of becoming more present. Once we become aware of what we are currently thinking, rather than becoming completely absorbed in conversation, we instead take that step back to present, into the viewpoint of the one who is watching compassionately, full of love, without judgment, a natural self, free from the body, free from the brain. You might find that this pose has dissipated from intense and pretty horrible into really enjoyable. Often we hold a lot of tension in the wrists, all the way up the arms into the shoulders. And it can feel super intense at the start. It can just melt like holding your thumb down onto a knot, into a nice release. When we're feeling ready, coming into our last pose, which is our happy baby. We allow ourselves to sink back. We take hold of our biggest toe, and if we cannot reach, we can grab a belt and hook both legs. We sink with the knees towards the mat, and wherever you land in happy baby is your perfect version of this pose today. Whether your knees fall super wide or back, wherever you land is perfect. The heart center is thought to govern feelings of joy, or the heart meridian rather. So happy baby is a really lovely one to end on, just to wrap up our practice, embracing those emotions, It's thought that each meridian is relating to specific emotions, and that those emotions exist on a spectrum of what in day-to-day life we might consider negative to positive. In Yin, we have no judgment, so there is no negative, there is no positive. If we notice an emotion that is not such a good feeling emotion, that is not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, it just is. It's exactly where we're at, and we just observe it, free from judgment. We are simply a human experiencing an emotion, similar with the thoughts, similar with the physical body. If we can't perfectly practice a pose in the way someone else is, it's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it just is where we're at physically. There is no such thing as the perfect pose in Yin. All of the poses work around you and where you're at. There is no correct aesthetic. There is only what you feel today. We aim for the correct intensity, which is around a 7 out of 10. Not too easy, not too hard. Meeting ourselves at our boundary and just resting there, breathing through the intensities that arise. We never want to feel discomfort, but we also don't want to feel super comfortable. We're pushing ourselves, but not pushing ourselves past our point of comfort. When you're feeling ready, as slowly as you can, use your hands here, as Happy Baby can feel super intense by compression on the inner hips. And we're coming into our Savasana, sending both legs long, allowing them to fall outwards. This should feel lovely.
Allow a complete softening down. Allow a heaviness through the entire back body. The hips, the glutes, the legs, the back, the arms and the shoulders are all completely supported and held by the floor beneath you. The front body is soft, breathing up and down easily into the space around you. The jaw is heavy, the forehead relaxed, the tongue soft and resting at the base of the mouth. Each breath in and out is easy and full, and we allow ourselves to stay here for as long as we feel happy to, allowing yourself to drift deeper and deeper into this yin-like state, a state where you can just be and exist, free from the need or responsibility to do anything at all. Bringing balance into your day, into your energy, into your nervous system. Letting yourself relax deeper and deeper, more and more. I invite you to stay here, even though the session is over, giving yourself that time in stillness and silence, giving yourself permission to exist and be exactly as you are, without having to do anything at all. Namaste.